Hey everyone, and welcome. So, you want to introduce yourself in Japanese, right? Well, today that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to build a full self-introduction from scratch. And by the end of this, you'll have everything you need, the right words, the simple grammar, and most importantly, the pronunciation to sound really good.
So, here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll cover the secret to sounding natural. Then, we'll build your introduction, piece by piece. We'll put it all together. And I've even got a cool bonus tip on sounding extra polite. Let's get started. All right, first things first. Before we even learn a single Japanese word, we have to talk about how the language sounds. And trust me, getting this one concept down is going to make a massive difference. So, think about English for a sec. We use stress, right? We say present for a gift, but present for the verb. We're basically punching one syllable harder than the others. Well, Japanese, it just doesn't work like that at all. It's a totally different ballgame. And this right here is the secret weapon. It's called pitch accent. It has nothing to do with how loud you say a syllable. It's all about whether your voice goes up or down. So instead of thinking about a drum beat, think about a melody. It's all about the music of the word. Okay, check this out. This is the perfect example of why this is so important. We have the word ame. If you say it with a flat pitch, kind of like ame, it means candy. But look at the second one. See that little mark after the ah? That's our cue. It tells you the pitch drops right there. So you say ame, high then low. Just by changing that little tune, you've gone from talking about candy to talking about rain. I'm telling you, this is a total game changer. Okay, now that we've got that whole pitch thing down, let's actually learn our very first phrase. This is the big one, the one you'll say every single time you meet somebody for the first time. Yeah, in Japan, starting off with a polite greeting is absolutely key. It just sets the right tone, Friendly, respectful, it's the perfect way to kick off a conversation. And here it is. The phrase is hajimemashite. Let's break down that pitch. It starts low, goes up, and then you see that little mark? The pitch drops right after ma, so it sounds like hajimemashite. One more time, hajimemashite. This is your go-to classic greeting for first meeting. It basically means nice to meet you. Awesome. Now for the main event, the actual introduction part. And the great thing is, we're going to use a super simple but really powerful formula that you are going to use constantly in Japanese. Okay, so the basic pattern is A wa B desu. Super simple. It just means A is B. But here's a pro tip to sound way more natural. When you're introducing yourself, you can actually just leave out the watashi wa part, which means I am. It's kind of implied, Everyone knows you're talking about yourself, so you don't need to say it. So let's put that into practice. Instead of saying the whole watashi wa tamu desu, you just say your name and then this. Simple as that. Look at the pitch here. It drops after ta. So tamu, this. See? It's so much cleaner, and it's how people actually talk. Right, so after you give your name, it's super common to say what you do for a living. Give the other person a little more context about who you are. Here you can see a couple of common ones, like kaishain for a company employee or kyoshi for a teacher. And guess what? We use the exact same formula. So if you're a student, it's just gakusei desu. That E at the end just means you hold the E sound for a little bit longer. Gakusei. So gakusei desu. And again, no I am. We're keeping it short, sweet, and natural. Okay, look at us. We've got all the building blocks. We have the opening, we have our name, we have our job. Now we just need to learn how to wrap it all up and put it together into one nice, smooth introduction. All right, and this is the grand finale of your introduction. It's the phrase yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Now, I know it looks like a mouthful, but this one is absolutely essential. It's really hard to translate perfectly into English. It's kind of like saying, nice to meet you, but also, let's have a good relationship, and please be good to me, all at once. It's this super polite, all-in-one package. And for the pitch, the drop is right at the end, after shimasu. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Okay, now it's your turn to shine. Let's build your own introduction. Just follow these 4 steps. You start with hajimemashite. Then pop in your name with desu. Then your occupation with desu. And finally, you stick the landing with yoroshiku onegai shimasu. Go on, give it a shot. So let's see what it looks like all put together. Here's an example for our friend Thomas, who's a company employee. He would say, hajimemashite, Thomas desu, kaishain desu, yoroshiku onegai shimasu. See how that just flows, one part right after the other? Boom. That's a perfect self-introduction. So you've got the grammar down perfectly now. Your introduction is solid. But let's add one little bonus layer, a little cultural secret that's going to make you sound super impressive. Yeah, think of this as a little piece of secret advice from Haru-san. This is all about what to do when someone gives you a compliment, which, trust me, is a huge part of being polite in a Japanese conversation. Okay, here's the magic phrase. Let's say someone compliments your Japanese. Your go-to response is, "Iie, mada desu." So "iie" is no, and "mada desu" is kind of like saying, "Oh, I'm not there yet," or "I still have a long way to go." So why say that? Well, in Japanese culture, being humble is a really big deal. Just saying thank you can sometimes come across as a little, I don't know, a little too confident. But saying this shows that you're humble, that you know you're still learning, and that is considered incredibly polite. And that's it. That is your complete, ready-to-go template for introducing yourself in Japanese. Just 4 simple lines. That's all it takes to open the door to a brand new conversation. You've got the sound, you've got the grammar, you've even got a bit of the culture down. You are totally ready for this. Okay, so you did it, you introduced yourself, they know who you are. But, a conversation needs 2 people. So the real question now is, what are you going to ask them? And that is the very next step in your Japanese adventure.